In the peaceful town of Maple Hollow, Washington, life was simple and slow. People were friendly, and the town rarely saw trouble. In a small house near the forest lived a quiet man named Daniel Moore. He was the town's librarian and a loving father to his 10-year-old daughter, Laya. Daniel had raised Laya on his own since the day she was born. Her mother, Emma, had died giving birth. All that remained of her was a photo and the love she left behind. Life wasn't always easy, but the bond between father and daughter was strong. They spent their days reading books, telling stories at bedtime, and walking together in the forest behind their house. With them always was Buddy, their old German shepherd. Buddy was slow now but still faithful, never leaving their side. Every evening, the three of them, Daniel, Laya, and Buddy, walked along a trail through the woods. It was their favorite time, a moment of calm away from the world. But one warm summer evening in July, something strange happened. As they walked, Buddy suddenly froze. His ears perked up, and he let out a low growl. Before anyone could react, Buddy darted into the bushes. Daniel quickly placed a hand on Laya's shoulder. "Stay close," he said. They followed Buddy through the thick plants and stopped near a tree with large roots. Beneath it, something tiny and still was lying in the dirt. "Daddy, it's a baby," Laya whispered as she knelt down. What they saw wasn't a human baby. It was a small creature covered in soft black fur. It was shaking from the cold and looked like it hadn't eaten in days. Daniel gently picked it up. It was no bigger than a coffee mug. "We can't leave it here," Daniel said softly. They wrapped the creature in Laya's jacket and carried it home. Laya carefully placed it in a shoebox with a scarf and a warm water bottle. They didn't know what kind of animal it was or what to feed it, but Daniel searched online and found some advice. Laya used a dropper to give it warm goat milk. "What should we name him?" Laya asked. Daniel wasn't sure, but Laya smiled. "Shadow, because he came out of the woods like a whisper." That night, no one slept much. They took turns feeding Shadow and watching over him. Buddy lay beside the shoebox, guarding the new member of the family. Over the next few days, Shadow began to grow stronger. At first, Daniel thought he was just a puppy, maybe a mixed breed. But there was something different about him. Shadow was fast. He could climb, squeeze into tight spaces, and one morning, they found him sitting on top of a tall bookshelf. "He's like a ninja," Laya laughed. But Daniel began to worry. Shadow's features, his ears, nose, and movements, felt too sharp, too wild. "This isn't a dog," Daniel whispered one night. Still, Laya didn't care. "I don't care what he is. He's ours now." To learn more, they visited the local vet, Dr. Henley. After checking Shadow carefully, the vet looked confused. "He's healthy," Dr. Henley said, "but I don't know what kind of animal he is. Maybe a rare kind of ferret or a wild hybrid. I've never seen one like him." On the way home, Laya looked up at her dad. "Will someone try to take him away?" Daniel shook his head. He's part of our family now." Shadow kept growing. He slept during the day and became active at night. He had incredible hearing and a sharp sense of smell. Daniel started sending videos and pictures to a wildlife center in Seattle. A few days later, the experts replied, "Shadow might be a very rare wild hybrid, possibly a melanistic ferret, a species believed to be extinct." Daniel didn't know whether to be excited or worried. Things became even more serious when a large city zoo sent them a message. They wanted to observe Shadow for scientific tests. Though it wasn't a demand, Daniel could sense the pressure behind the polite words. That night, Daniel sat with Laya. "They want to take Shadow for a little while to study him," he explained gently. Laya was silent, resting her hand on Shadow's soft back. "When Mom died, I never got to say goodbye. Shadow is mine. I don't want to lose him too." Daniel hugged her tightly. "Then we're not sending him anywhere. He stays with us." Autumn arrived in Maple Hollow. The leaves turned golden, and the forest glowed with color. Shadow grew stronger and faster. At night, He would sit quietly on the windowsill, watching the trees. One afternoon during a forest walk, they saw a family of rabbits. Shadow crouched low, ready to pounce like a hunter. Daniel quickly called him off. Something wild was inside Shadow, and it was growing. Later, Daniel sent more videos to the Wildlife Center. The experts confirmed it. Shadow was not just rare, he was something truly special. And that only made the zoo more interested. Daniel knew they had to protect him, not just for Laya, but because Shadow now belonged with them. Life changed.